Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to weld some stuff together. So if I come over here to my sphere, this brand new one I just created, if I come over here to edit poly and I go into my vertex mode, I can collapse. If I select this vertex and this one, I can hit the collapse tool, which is located over here off of my edit geometry rollout. I can hit collapse and it will take two vertices and merge them together as one. Now just be careful when you do something like this, because we have a quad here, four-sided polygon, one here, one here, one here. Now we have triangles. Triangles are typically the enemy of the video game industry. I personally don't have an issue with them because for every one quad you have one triangle in here anyways. But typically the rule is any area that has bending polygons, you don't want to have triangles unless they're going to bend over on this axis, not on this one. But we'll get into that another day. So let's go back, undo all of this, Control Z for undo. Probably should do a video for that, okay? I can also select the polygon and collapse it down like so. It will select all of it. I can also do an edge, 2 on the keyboard. I can select it and collapse that down over there too. Now, by the way, in my keyboard, I wired a hotkey to my collapse tool because I use it so much in modeling. So, but you can come over here to collapse right there and it'll work out just fine. Can you collapse more than one polygon together? Of course you can. Can you collapse more than one edge together? Just like that. Of course you can. Yep. You can do that. You can also do this. I don't advise this, but you can do it. I just took a segment out, a big chunk. Okay. And that is one method of welding or collapsing. Now let's look at the weld tool. What is the difference between weld and collapse? I'm glad you asked. So collapse works off of the principle of any distance. So like if I just butcher this real quick and I want these two to line up, as long as I have a nice solid cut, it doesn't matter how far apart something is, it will work. Weld works off of the principle of a threshold. So if I select all of this and I go to my weld tool, so as you can see currently I have 482 vertices in the whole mesh, but nothing's welded, it's not snapping. But the moment I increase the elevator, now all of a sudden all of this stuff is trying to find the next adjacent vertex that's at the closest proximity, and it's going to try and snap them together. And that right there is the difference between weld and collapse. I usually only use weld when I need to do a lot of something at one time and I need to make a threshold on it. And that threshold for me is usually the magic number is 0.001. That's really the only time I ever do welding, especially when it comes to the face and the hands, okay? And we'll get into that in the next video.